Am I weird? Yeah, but so what? Everybody's weird.
Welcome to Watch Mojo, and today we're looking at movies that have become tragic over time thanks to outside forces or revealing behind-the-scenes news. As such, we will not be including examples of actors passing away before a movie was released, as the misfortune was known about going in.
What do you propose?
It's simple. We kill the Batman.
Night at the Museum, Secret of the Tomb.
Bully! No! Gotcha! Smile, my boy. It's sunrise.
While filming the third film in the Night at the Museum franchise, Robin Williams began exhibiting clear signs of what would later be diagnosed as the neurodegenerative disorder Lewy body dementia. In 2020, the movie's director, Sean Levy, revealed that Williams wasn't himself on set, and that it quickly became obvious that something was wrong. His confidence was gone. He was suffering from frequent panic attacks, and he had great difficulty remembering even the simplest of lines. Williams would reportedly call Levy late at night, often asking if any of his work from the previous day was usable. Unfortunately, Williams's mental acuity rapidly declined following the shoot. Filming wrapped in May 2014, and he took his own life the following August.
It's okay, Lawrence. We're ready.
Oh. I'm not.
Let us go, son.
The Blues Brothers.
It's 106 miles to Chicago. We got a full tank of gas, half a pack of cigarettes, it's dark, and we're wearing sunglasses. Hit it.
Made for nearly $30 million, The Blues Brothers was one of the most expensive comedies ever made at the time. Unfortunately, a good chunk of that is owing to constant and costly delays that were instigated by John Belushi. Belushi developed a substance use disorder while filming the movie and began acting erratically, often missing roll calls or disappearing from set altogether. Unfortunately, he died less than 2 years after the movie's release, result of a fatal overdose. And while it's now considered a classic, his death still casts a long shadow over the film, turning it into a bittersweet reminder of his talent, unrealized potential, and tragically short life.
It's got a cop motor, a 440 cubic inch plant. It's got cop tires, cop suspension, cop shocks. It's a model made before catalytic converters, so it'll run good on regular gas. What do you say? Is it the new Bluesmobile or what? Fix a cigarette lighter.
How the Grinch Stole Christmas.
Well, they want to get to know me, do they? They want to spend a little quality time with the Grinch. I guess I could use a little social interaction.
Okay, time for a little Christmas cheer. Well, Christmas cheer is what we were all looking for as children watching How the Grinch Stole Christmas. But well after the movie's release, Carey revealed that the Grinch suit was unimaginably uncomfortable and caused him both physical and mental anguish. Aside from the extreme physical discomfort, the process also put a significant strain on Carey's mental health, and he began lashing out at those around him. In fact, it got so bad that makeup artist Kazuhiro briefly quit the film in protest. The producers eventually brought in an expert in resistance training to help Carey cope with the discomfort, like teaching him how to dissociate. Knowing all this kind of ruins the holiday vibes.
7 o'clock, wrestle with my self-loathing. I'm booked. Of course, if I bumped the loathing to 9, I could still be done in time to lay in bed, stare at the ceiling, and slip slowly into madness. But what would I wear?
Heaven's Gate.
It's beautiful. Belongs in the museum.
This western from Michael Cimino was controversial right out the gate, as there were many accusations in the press of animal cruelty. But it remains controversial because of what it did to the film industry. The movie was an enormous disaster, both critically and financially, and it essentially changed Hollywood overnight. It effectively killed United Artists as it was known, as it ceased being an independent studio and was incorporated into MGM. It also ended the new Hollywood movement that emerged in the 70s, killing the auteur-driven films that emerged from exciting new directors like Coppola, Scorsese, and Friedkin. After this, power reverted to the profit-driven studios, and this structure has remained mostly in place ever since.
Do you remember the good gone days?
Clearer and better. Every day I get older.
The Adventures of Milo and Otis.
Here comes the dog, strong and brave. Woof! Here comes the dog, your life he... Oh! He then decided to skip the whole thing.
Originally released in Japan, The Adventures of Milo and Otis is an animal adventure film about a pug and an orange tabby cat. It is quite a cute film, but in October of 1998, Mikio Hata, the director's younger brother, publicly revealed instances of animal cruelty that occurred on set. There had long been rumours, but his comments seemingly confirmed it, including an allegation that the cat that played Milo was killed. A few weeks later, various people who worked on the film came forward and supported his claims, detailing specific instances of horrific animal cruelty. With that, rumour became fact, and the movie was ruined forever.
Some of them just accepted it. Some were pretty annoyed. And a few quietly plotted revenge.
The Dark Knight Rises.
You do not fear death. You think this makes you strong. It makes you weak.
The third and final film in Christopher Nolan's Dark Knight trilogy was highly anticipated, especially coming on the heels of the mega blockbuster that was The Dark Knight. Unfortunately, its reputation was ruined almost immediately by an act of extreme and indiscriminate violence. On July 20th, 2012, the day of the movie's wide release, a shooter targeted the Century 16 Cinema in Aurora, Colorado during a midnight showing of the film, killing 12 and injuring nearly 60 people. The incident cast a pall over the film, and despite grossing over $1 billion, The Dark Knight Rises could never quite shake its dark history.
A hero can be anyone, even a man doing something as simple and reassuring as putting a coat around a young boy's shoulders to let him know the world hadn't ended.
Doc Hollywood.
Tell us about real Dr. and Stone. You know, big city medicine, huh?
Well, you know, so much has changed in the 40 years since you went to medical school, Doctor. I wouldn't really know where to start.
Michael J. Fox was in Micanopy, Florida, filming a movie called Doc Hollywood when his life changed forever. While filming the movie, Fox began experiencing a sore shoulder, and the pinky finger on his left hand began twitching. He initially dismissed the symptoms and continued filming the movie, but eventually sought medical treatment when they persisted. He was then diagnosed with early onset Parkinson's disease, being just 29 years old. Following the diagnosis, Fox grew depressed, fell into frequent alcohol use, and hid his diagnosis from co-workers and the public. And while he is now a strong advocate of Parkinson's, it's hard going back to this movie knowing that the young actor's life was about to take a turn for the tragic.
Listen, Doctor, I got a boy here in cardiac crisis. You can't treat that with Coca-Cola or Bisquick. We're gonna have to use real medicine this time.
Stand By Me.
It happens sometimes. Friends come in and out of your life like busboys in a restaurant.
Rob Reiner's Stand By Me is a wonderful film about shedding your innocence, and in some ways, it serves as a kind of meta-commentary on Hollywood itself. In 1986, Stand By Me worked beautifully, but in the years since, we have been forced to grow up and face some uncomfortable truths. While a huge star at the time, Corey Feldman is now the poster child for troubled young actors, facing problems with substance use disorder and being at both ends of sexual assault allegations. And then there's River Phoenix, who tragically passed away just 7 years after the movie was released. The latter is especially difficult given its mirror with the movie's ending, in which Phoenix's character dies and is fondly reminisced by an older Gordy.
Chris, who had always made the best piece, tried to break it up. He was stabbed in the throat. He died almost instantly.
Valley of the Dolls.
Mother, I know I don't have any talent, and I know all I have is a body, and I am doing my bust exercises. Goodbye, Mother. I'll wire you the money first thing in the morning. Goodbye.
Released in 1967, Valley of the Dolls was a big hit, making 10 times its budget and earning actress Sharon Tate a Golden Globe nomination for Most Promising Female Newcomer. That is hauntingly ironic, considering what was about to transpire. Valley of the Dolls was released in December of 1967. Less than 2 years later, Tate was brutally killed inside her home by members of the Manson family as part of the world-famous Tate LaBianca murders. Her burgeoning career was prematurely cut short by one of the most heinous acts of violence in American history, and now it's nearly impossible to watch this film without thinking of what came next.
My mother says I should have held out and made you marry me.
Oh, baby.
When did I ever do anything my mother told me to?
Jaws: The Revenge. The fourth and final Jaws movie contains a character named Thea Brody. the daughter of Michael and granddaughter of Martin. This adorable little girl was played by Judith Barcy, whose tragic story is now part of Hollywood legend. Judith and her mother Maria faced constant harassment by Judith's father, Joseph, including continued instances of physical and mental abuse. On July 25, 1988, almost exactly 1 year after Jaws was released, Joseph murdered both Maria and Judith before taking his own life. Barcy was widely mourned in the industry, and her most famous films, The Land Before Time and All Dogs Go to Heaven, were released after her death.
Oh, sweetheart. I didn't recognize you, Thea. You're so grown up.
Erin Brockovich.
Boy, do I know how you feel.
A huge surprise hit, Erin Brockovich scored over $250 million at the box office and garnered 5 Oscar nominations. It follows the titular activist who successfully sued the Pacific Gas and Electric Company for polluting the water of Hinckley, California.
Causes of action against Pacific Gas and Electric are upheld.
The movie propelled the hero into the national spotlight, but her family wasn't quite ready for it. After winning the case against PG&E, an incredible amount of pressure was placed on Brockovich, and the professional obligations often took her away from her children.
There was thousands of emails when this first broke towards me. It's like, oh, you know, I'm sick of Erin Brockovich and stop wearing your bustiers.
With her mother gone for long stretches, Elizabeth Brockovich started acting out, often skipping school and falling into heavy substance use. Luckily, Erin Brockovich noticed the warning signs and enrolled her daughter into rehab.
I will take care of this, I promise.
Jingle all the way.
What the heck? Why not spread a little Christmas cheer around the neighborhood?
While this Christmas movie remains an annual tradition for many, their viewings may be soured knowing what happened to the late Phil Hartman. He plays the nosy and way too involved neighbor Ted, and Jingle All the Way would be the last movie released in his lifetime.
Oh, these cookies! I gotta get the recipe from Les.
The movie came out on November 22nd, 1996, and just 18 months later, Hartman was shot and killed by his wife, Bryn, who was under the influence of drugs and alcohol. Hartman starred in 3 more movies following Jingle All the Way, but all were posthumous releases. The knowledge of his violent murder sort of takes the joy and cheer out of the otherwise fun Christmas classic.
Howard, I'm of the mindset you can never do too much to make a child's Christmas magical.
The Birds. While it's considered one of the greatest horror movies of all time, The Birds is somewhat tarnished thanks to some behind-the-scenes drama. Decades after the movie was released, it became clear that director Alfred Hitchcock was highly inappropriate around actress Tippi Hedren.
No.
Those involved with the production claim that Hitchcock was obsessed with the star, but she constantly denied his advances. He also subjected her to injury on the set of the movie and later locked her in a restrictive contract that prohibited her ability to find work. And it is widely believed that Hitchcock did so in revenge for Hedren turning him down.
After all, being dominated by an almost maniacal woman was enough to drive anyone to the extreme of, well, let's go in.
Rebel Without a Cause.
You're tearing me apart!
Heralded as a masterpiece and a defining product of the 1950s, Rebel Without a Cause is also very difficult to watch knowing what happened to its 3 leads.
I know one thing. I'm not going back in that zoo.
I'm never going back.
All 3 would be found dead within a span of just 25 years. All died violently, and all before reaching their 50s. First to go was James Dean, who perished in a car crash just weeks before the movie was released. Sal Mineo followed, being stabbed and killed by a mugger in 1976. And finally there's Natalie Wood, who drowned under very mysterious circumstances in 1981. Their young deaths are especially ironic given that the movie is all about youth, and these actors barely even left theirs.
Is this what it's like to love somebody?
I don't know.
Raw.
Are you okay? Mom, you look crazy.
Years after her work with Alfred Hitchcock, Tippi Hedren starred in the adventure comedy Raw. The movie came and went, but it has since developed a cult following owing to the production's egregious disregard for health and safety.
Nice one. Nice one.
Most of the details were relayed in Hedren's book, The Cats of Shambhala, which was published 4 years after the movie was released. Most of the large cats used for filming were untrained, leading to at least 70 injuries. Noel Marshall was bitten a dozen times and suffered gangrene. Hedren was also left gangrenous after an elephant fractured her hand and ankle. Melanie Griffith required facial reconstruction after being attacked by a lioness. Men Behind the Sun.
What do you think they're going to be doing to us now?
One of the most controversial films ever made, Men Behind the Sun chronicles the various atrocities that the Imperial Japanese Army conducted throughout World War II. It largely centers around Unit 731, a secret Chinese facility that was used for human experimentation.
Headquarters only recognizes the importance of bacterial weapons in this war. They fail to realize that biological and chemical weapons are also very important.
The film is intensely graphic, more akin to a feature-length gore video than an actual movie, and that's essentially what it is. The various body parts and organs were real, being both human and animal in nature. There are shots of real animal cruelty, and one infamous autopsy scene was conducted with a genuine cadaver. The movie is disturbing enough, but knowing this makes it unwatchable.
According to the previous test results, it'll be quite difficult to produce a strain of bubonic plague that is more than 60 times as infectious as the standard type.
The end of Evangelion.
Am I doing something stupid?
As its title suggests, The End of Evangelion serves as the ending to the enormously popular and influential anime Neon Genesis Evangelion. It came about largely through fan demand, as the show's ending was considered controversial and unsatisfactory.
Yeah, right. Doubt they're gonna let us off that easily.
Near the end of the film, a series of creepy images are flashed on the screen. One is an email death threat written to Hideaki Anno, the creator of the Evangelion franchise. The other is the vandalized office of anime studio Gainax. Both were reportedly done in response to the ending of Neon Genesis Evangelion, conducted by furious and dissatisfied viewers. It only makes the ending that much more unforgettable.
Can't live without the trust from those you love.
The Last House on the Left. For some, this Wes Craven flick is a brilliant commentary on human depravity. For others, it's an irredeemable piece of sadistic trash.
Hey, talking to you.
Whatever side you land on, there's no denying that it's a troubling watch. As it turns out, it was even more troubling to make, especially for lead actress Sandra Peabody. Peabody was routinely mistreated on set, to the point that she was being constantly consoled by Craven.
I can get you methadone. I can get you methadone just as quick as that. Reed, come on. Let's get out of here.
At one point, Mark Scheffler, playing Junior, threatened to push her off a cliff. She also had a very difficult time working with David Hess. She claims that Hess was methodical off-screen, and Hess himself admitted that he got too physical during the infamous sequence in which Mary is assaulted. Incubus. While William Shatner went on to great things, his co-stars, and the movie itself for that matter, were not so lucky.
Venture me.
Anne Atmar took her own life shortly after filming had wrapped. Milos shot and killed Barbara Ann Thomason, the estranged wife of Mickey Rooney, before turning the gun on himself. Marina Harvey, the teenage daughter of Eloise Hart, was abducted outside of her mother's home and murdered, supposedly by members of the Manson family. Then all prints of the movie were lost in a fire. One sole copy was later found in 1996, allowing modern viewers to watch one of the most cursed films in history. The Exorcist.
The power of Christ compels you! The power of Christ compels you!
It's only fitting that a movie about demonic possession is also incredibly cursed. The making of The Exorcist is almost as legendary as the movie itself, with plenty of on-set accidents, injuries, and freak occurrences.
Now, my hunch, my opinion, he was killed by a very powerful man.
Both Ellen Burstyn and Linda Blair seriously injured their backs during filming, leaving them with lasting debilitations. Various crew members lost limbs in freak accidents, and many people involved in the film died during production or shortly afterward. The technician in the famous angiography scene was later convicted of murdering a journalist. The Shining.
Whenever you come in here and interrupt me, you're breaking my concentration. You're distracting me.
Great art is often made from great pain, and that is certainly the case with The Shining. By all accounts, the filming of this movie was an absolute miserable experience, led mainly by the perfectionist attitude of director Stanley Kubrick.
It'll be like it never happened.
You couldn't find some way of sort of not looking at her and looking down as you say the line.
The days were incredibly long. Kubrick often demanded dozens of takes, and principal photography took over a year to complete. Shelley Duvall was often a specific target of Kubrick, furiously arguing on the set. Some of this antagonism can be seen in Vivian Kubrick's behind-the-scenes documentary, which aired 5 months after the film's American premiere.
I honestly don't think the lines are going to make an awful lot of difference if you get the right attitude.
It shows Duvall fighting with Kubrick, losing her hair from stress, and even lying on the floor out of total exhaustion. Stalker. Considered one of the greatest Soviet films of all time, Stalker was filmed in 2 deserted power plants near the city of Tallinn, Estonia. These plants were found on the Yagala River. According to sound designer Vladimir Sharun, a nearby chemical plant would often pour its runoff into the river, and this poisonous liquid would make its way downstream to the power plants. While it's difficult to correlate, Sharun contends that many people involved in the film became sick from these toxic chemicals and later died of their illnesses. This includes assistant director Larisa Tarkovskaya, star Anatoly Solonitsyn, and director Andrei Tarkovsky.
Душу вложишь, сердце свое вложишь, сожрут и душу, и сердце.
Peter Pan.
Oh, sit down, it won't take long.
It's hard going back to these Disney classics knowing that most, if not all, involved are now dead. It's especially hard going back to Peter Pan. Peter was voiced by Bobby Driscoll, who was a young teenager when the movie came out in February 1953. Driscoll was relentlessly tormented in high school owing to his involvement with Disney, and he fell into heavy substance use. He then faced multiple arrests and was sent to a rehab center, all while his career rapidly deflated.
Well, for a week then. Come on, Wendy. I'll show you the island.
Oh, Peter!
Driscoll eventually moved to New York with the hopes of making it on Broadway, but he was unsuccessful and died of heart failure at just 31. His body was found in a deserted tenement, went unclaimed, and was buried in an unmarked pauper's grave.
Come on, everybody. Here we go! Up to Neverland!
Star Wars Episode 1: The Phantom Menace.
I have a bad feeling about this.
I don't sense anything.
The first prequel film was, well, not very good, but some ardent fans can't stop their dissatisfaction from boiling into torment. There's poor Jake Lloyd, who allegedly retired from acting because he was relentlessly mocked at school.
They're so good and kind. They make even the most hardened spice pirates cry.
Then there's Ahmed Best, who provided both the voice and motion capture for the widely maligned Jar Jar Binks. It must have been incredibly difficult being blamed for the demise of Star Wars, as many people used Jar Jar as the scapegoat for their general displeasure. In 2018, Best wrote on Twitter that the, quote, media backlash still affects his career today, and that he considered taking his own life as a response to the constant ridicule.
I'm hot.
I can imagine.
But
I'm hot too.
But I'm cool. You know what I'm saying?
I wish I could say the same.
Apocalypse Now. This title could also refer to its production, as the set of Apocalypse Now was basically hell on earth.
Taking fire, I'm taking hits all over our farm. 3 o'clock my position. Drawing fire, I'm drawing heavy fire.
This is perhaps the most famous example of a troubled production, and the behind-the-scenes problems could fill a book. In fact, it has, and documentaries, and the reveals were truly shocking. Most of the sets were destroyed in a typhoon. Actors didn't get along, quit, and showed up in surprising conditions. Martin Sheen was having a breakdown and nearly died of a heart attack. A real water buffalo was slaughtered for the climactic scene. Genuine human corpses were accidentally bought to dress Kurtz's hideout. I mean, the list is endless. But it all adds a mythical element to an already mythical film. Natural Born Killers. One of the great ironies in movie history is Natural Born Killers inspiring copycats. I mean, the movie is a satire of the media's obsession with violence and the glorification of crime, but some viewers miss the point entirely. Whether earned or not, the film has been blamed for inspiring many copycat crimes. Numerous school shootings have been linked to the movie, as the perpetrators were vocal fans. This includes the Columbine killers, both of whom wrote about going, quote, NBK.
Ladies and gentlemen, this kiss has been a year in the coming. They're doing something everyone told them they would never ever do again.
This sentiment was repeated by Jeremy Steinke, who along with his girlfriend Jasmine Richardson, murdered Richardson's parents and brother. The incident bears a strong resemblance to a scene in the movie, and Steinke reportedly spoke of, quote, going natural-born killer on her family.
I'm a natural-born killer.
Poltergeist.
What is it? What is it?
Perhaps the most cursed movie ever, at least in terms of pop culture infamy, is Tobe Hooper's Poltergeist. One infamous tidbit of trivia involves the pool skeletons seen in the climax of the film, which were 100% authentic. They were medical skeletons purchased by makeup artist Craig Reardon and dressed up to look dirty and rotten. But no one told Jobeth Williams that they were real. Adding to the eerie mystique of the film are the tragic deaths of Dominique Dunne and Heather O'Rourke. Dunne was murdered by her ex-boyfriend just 5 months after the movie was released, and O'Rourke died in 1988 when a bowel condition sent her into septic shock.
There is no death. It is only a transition to a different sphere of consciousness.
The Conqueror.
Deny it.
I will not. To deny it would give substance to your thought.
In this widely maligned film, John Wayne plays Genghis Khan, and Utah stands in for the Far East. One filming location was the Escalante Desert, which was downwind from an old nuclear bomb testing site.
Why is this carcass lying here?
It is an omen, my son.
Despite assurances that it was safe, 41% of the crew developed cancer in their lifetimes. This includes John Wayne, who died of cancer in 1979. Even some of their relatives developed tumours, including 2 of Wayne's sons. Some argue that the correlation between the illness and the radiation is difficult to prove, as the cancer rates among the crew fall in line with the national average. Many were also heavy smokers. However, those who became sick did so at a relatively young age, lending some further credence to the theory.
Our losses, are they great? A few.
Various MCU movies. Some people are intensely private and keep even the most serious news to themselves. One such person was Chadwick Boseman. Boseman was diagnosed with stage 3 colon cancer all the way back in 2016, shortly before filming of Black Panther had begun.
I accept your challenge.
He filmed several MCU movies throughout the chemotherapy, and his illness progressed into stage 4. He kept the cancer secret from everyone but his family, so it came as a huge surprise when he died in 2020. Knowing what Boseman was going through makes revisiting these films somewhat difficult, but something tells us he wouldn't want it that way. He didn't want his sickness to impede or influence his work, and we shouldn't let it.
The time has come for you to come home and be reunited with me.
Before we continue, be sure to subscribe to our channel and ring the bell to get notified about our latest videos. You have the option to be notified for occasional videos or all of them. If you're on your phone, make sure you go into your settings and switch on notifications. The Wizard of Oz.
We've got to get away. We've got to run away.
When it was released in 1939, The Wizard of Oz was unlike anything else, and it profoundly influenced the future of cinema. Going back to it with the knowledge we have today is an altogether different experience. Production was an absolute nightmare, resulting in numerous health issues. This includes Margaret Hamilton getting burned by fire and Buddy Ebsen being hospitalized after inhaling the aluminium dust used in the Tin Man's makeup.
Goodness. How did you ever get like this?
Well?
The worst was reserved for Judy Garland, who often suffered sexual harassment and physical abuse by the cast and crew. She was also regularly given Benzedrine tablets in an effort to keep her lean. Garland later struggled with substance use and died of an overdose at just 47.
Then I'm sure to get a brain, a heart,
A home.
the knife.
So, can you watch these movies without them getting you down? Let us know in the comments below.
Charlie, will I ever see you again?